Alrighty guys, so this video is going to be about this little deal here, which is a double-sided tackle box. This was actually my very first tackle box that I ever owned, that I bought myself, and it had my very first 10 lures that I ever bought inside of it for the longest time. And then I finally got my dad's old tackle box. He gave it to me one day, and then this here basically became something that I used just if I wanted to go around the pond real quick and catch a bunch of fish. You know, now I kind of more target bigger fish and stuff, but you know, back then I was just wanting to catch some fish. So, you know, yeah. So this here has a bunch of baits in it. It has crawl style baits. It's got bug style baits. It's got minnow and shad style baits. It's got literally a bunch of different type of stuff in it. It's got grubs. It's got lures that can catch bass, bluegill, crappie, all them stuff. But first thing I want to talk about is the stand that I used to have right here next to me that I done a video on a while back. I'm getting ready to go put it up tomorrow morning. And if you guys don't know about Illinois deer seasons, here in Illinois, October 1st is deer season. There's the first day of deer season. And I won't be hunting for a while because it's quite warm here in Illinois. The high today was 80. The high on opening day is 84 or 83. Somewhere between 85 and 86. That makes sense. Somewhere in the mid one. I can't talk today. Somewhere between the 180s. You guys probably know what I mean. Somewhere between 185. It's not 185. Why do I keep saying that? Somewhere between 85 degrees and 83 degrees. I don't know where. God, I can't talk. But yeah, it's going to be quite warm for a while. Probably going to wait till late October into November and December, because that's when the rut starts, and that's when you deer hunt. But we'll go ahead and talk about these baits real quick. That there's a little crawl with a jig head in it. That there's just something that I can use if the bass are eating crawfish. Something I can use if they're eating little bait fish, little shad, a little thing like this here. Little, I don't know what the brand's called on that. Then I got this little Strike King shimmy stick, black and blue color. I used to have a green pumpkin one in here, but I don't know what happened to it. I think somebody took it out. Probably my little brother. But yeah. Then I had this little weighted hook on here. Then I have a weightless brush hog, which is one of my favorite baits to use, weightless. I mainly use it to buzz over the top of grass, basically like a buzz toad. You know, it's like a finesse buzz toad almost. Then got a little weightless red worm. I ain't got no clue where this red worm came from, so yeah. Pretty much like that. Then I got a little weightless green pumpkin finesse worm. If you haven't noticed the pattern, I like a lot of weightless baits. Then I got this little rebel. Well, I think it's called like a crick hopper or something like that. This here was actually one of my first 10 lures that I ever owned myself. Basically what happened was I bought a couple of those little things that have come in like 4 or 5 different lures in it. I got that, a little crawfish, another little crawfish crankbait, and then I also got a little Rebel Popar, like the original one, not the big one or the little one, but the original medium-sized one. Then I got this Cotton Cordell shad pattern. It's like a Tennessee shad or something. Actually, I do know the name of this color. It's called avocado shad. I don't really know what that means. I guess maybe because it's green. I don't know. But yeah. Then I got this little lipless crankbait. Now, if you guys don't know me that well, I hate lipless crankbaits, but I have one in here because I thought that I'll never use this, and if I ever do have to, I can probably catch fish on it pretty easy, like a little bluegill or crappie or something like that. It has this little chartreuse, green, red, silver, little lipless crankbait. I don't know the name of the company that makes it. It's like some sort of a cheap company that I literally bought that for like 50 cents or something like that. Then I got 2 little grubs with jig heads. You got one that's a chartreuse grub with a black and white jig head. Then I got a white grub with a black and white jig head. Mainly those there are just for about everything. Then, of course, I have to have some topwater baits because, you know, I'm the topwater king and all. I got this thing here. Now, if you're not aware, this thing has rattles in it as well. If you're not aware what this thing is, honestly, I forgot I owned this. This thing I bought down at Bass Pro Shops in Memphis, Tennessee. Basically, what this is a floating head with a little back part back here, and then you slide a tube up on it, and it's got this little barb keeper back here, and it's got one single treble hook, and basically it's a topwater tube. And I bought this down there for like $3, and I got the black and red one, and I actually don't think I've ever used it, to be completely 100% honest with you. I put it in here and have no clue if I ever even used it. Or, I mean, if I caught a fish on it, it would be torn up. So I don't think I've caught a fish on it. I don't even know if I've used it, though. Then, one of my other baits that I use, or that I put in here, was one of my original topwater baits that I made. It's black, yellow, and red. I don't know what I was thinking when I put this color together. But, yeah, I didn't put a hook on this one. I don't know why. It's got this little spinny part on here. Plus, it's got a red hook for, like, a bleeding effect. Yeah. Don't really know what I was thinking with that color. But then I got some wacky worms. These here are basically just little worms that look really good. And I think I'll catch a bass pretty easy with them. First one's like this little jelly centipede looking worm. Got a little weedless wacky rig hook on there. Then I got a what I call a finesse wingding, or flick shake, whatever you want to call it. I call it a wingding. It's got a little green pumpkin style worm. It's not really a green pumpkin color, but it's kind of like green pumpkin color. Then a little bitty tiny crappie jig head. One of my favorite jig heads I ever used, because I've caught so many fish on that one jig head. Then another little wacky rig with a little purple worm. Then I got this little thing, which is a really realistic looking color. Little tiny floating jerk bait, or crankbait, whatever you want to call it. I've used it as crankbaits, stuff like that. Then I got one of these pieces of junk. I mean, this thing is, boy, this thing is just awful. This thing's got so much dust on it. I don't know where it's been. This thing's got dust on it. Half the tail's missing. I need to take this out. And then I got one of these Berkley swim baits, little pre-rigged tail swim baits. This thing is dusty looking. Here. Stick it up here. Maybe. I don't know. I'll find a spot to put it. But yeah, a little swim bait dealy there. I'm not going to keep that in there because it looks like crap. But yeah, that there is my little travel tackle box. If I ever want to go out to a pond I've never been to and just catch a bunch of fish, you know, I'll take that thing there. Don't really want to, you know, if I don't really want to target big fish, you know, I usually do. But if I don't really want to target the bigger size fish and I just want to go out and catch a bunch of little ones, I can do that with that little box there pretty easy. Excuse me. Goodness. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you comment down below if you have any questions, and I'll answer you back. Yeah, so thanks for watching.